The trial of former Deputy Senate President Ekweremadu and his wife over alleged organ harvesting continues in the London court. He's accused, along with his wife Beatrice and his daughter Sonia, and a doctor, of bringing a 21-year-old man from Nigeria to have his kidney removed. Prosecutors say the defendants allegedly plan to have the kidney removed from the man so that it could be given to Sonia, his daughter. Our London correspondent, Juliana Olayinka, brings us the latest update. Hello, Juliana. How goes the trial today?
Good afternoon from the Old Bailey, where we are entering the third week of what is expected to be a very lengthy trial involving the Deputy Senate President Ekweremadu, his wife Beatrice, their 25-year-old daughter Sonia, and this fourth individual, Dr. Obinna or better. Today, the public gallery was pretty jam-packed, and there are no surprises because for the first time ever, we have been hearing from a key witness, which is this was 21, now I believe 22-year-old alleged victim. He has been giving his sworn testimony this morning via a virtual link. He's been sitting with an interpreter. Now, today marks the actual day, this time last year, that he arrived to London. And of course, we know what happened after that arrival. If you have been following this case extensively, he, of course, was to come to the United Kingdom to provide his kidney for Sonia Ekweremadu, who suffers from a severe, significant kidney disease. Doctors at the Royal Free Hospital said he wasn't an appropriate match. On return to the Ekweremadu household, he's alleged that he was treated like a slave. He then took himself to a police station in Staines in Surrey, and then of course we know that the Ekweremadus were arrested alongside this doctor, and it appears as if this Dr. Obinna Obeta is very much in the spotlight today. Casey Hugh Davis, working for the prosecution, began his discussion with this defendant, with this alleged victim, who we cannot name for legal reasons, basically trying to ascertain what his life was like in Nigeria. I don't know if you remember that when I spoke a couple of weeks ago, when they were opening the case, they said this is the case of the mighty versus the poor, that this individual was earning pretty much less than £5 a day, about 3,000 naira, was desperate to support his family back in the village and would have done whatever he could to get to London to start a better life. So really, that was what the prosecution were trying to build today. This young man spoke of living pretty much a difficult life in the village, where his father was a carpenter and his mother didn't work. He says he is the eldest of 9 children, I believe. He stopped going to school when he was 15 years old. He is from Ebonyi State. He said that he went to Lagos with his uncle and started working, selling mobile phone accessories outside of a wheelbarrow in a market. He was then allegedly approached by Dr. Obinna Obeta, who has also received a kidney transplant, which is a significant part of this case. It's alleged that the individual who gave Dr. Obinna Obeta his own kidney transplant in 2021 was the source of finding this individual, who then went to Abuja for some tests, and on those tests he was deemed fit enough to be a good candidate for Sonia Ekweremadu. Now, as you can imagine, during the testimony of this alleged victim, there were quite tense scenes in the courtroom. Of course, both Sonia and Beatrice at times looked visibly shaken. The former Deputy Senate President, Senator Ekweremadu, quite visibly angry at times, and Dr. Obinna Obeta, whose name was mentioned several times by the victim, was constantly shaking his head. And now, according to the prosecution, The defence by the witness is likely to last at least 2 or 3 days. There were gasps from the public gallery at some of his testimony. Clearly his English is not 100%, which is why he was with an interpreter, but I'm sure the defence are keen to start their questioning of him, because this is the most significant piece of evidence in trying to find out whether or not the allegations that have been put before the senator are indeed true. He is, if found guilty, facing a very lengthy prison sentence.
Juliana, how long do trials of this nature last, if you have an idea? And as far as the daughter for which the kidney was supposed to be transplanted for is concerned, how is her state of health? Because it presupposes that there was a dire need for a kidney transplant for her that had to be done urgently, or so I imagine.
That's absolutely right. We know that Sonia Ekweremadu is still undergoing a significant kidney treatment, I believe dialysis. The judge has pointed out to the jury that the court will have to break for lengthy periods of time so she can ensure that she carries out her hospital treatment. She hasn't had that kidney transplant yet. How long is this case going to last? Gosh, only time will tell. We're already 3 weeks in, and we're just hearing from the key witness. Again, his English isn't too good, so lots of questions are being repeated. We are expecting several other individuals to be arrested by the Metropolitan Police, and they could be appearing in the dock alongside Dr. Obinna Obeta, the former Deputy Senate President, his wife and his daughter, because there are so many other issues with this case. Before the alleged victim took the stand, we did have some additional piece of information from detectives who, as you can imagine, have been scaling through mobile phone data going back to 2020 when this Dr. Obinna Obeta first started sourcing for his own kidney. And so, you know, I expect that there will be lots of pauses, lots of breaks. You know, this is an unprecedented case. I know we use the term unprecedented quite a lot, but in this case, certainly it does feel justified. But the case continues, so I will be heading back in court to hear more testimony from this alleged victim of human trafficking and the intent to harvest his organ.
Thank you so much, Juliana. Very interesting. You just mentioned the testimony dimension of the doctor. The plot thickens with all that information.